Well, this is one wardrobe. And these are the pieces. All those pieces down there. And this piece right here. But I didn't even open this box yet, but I better open that box before I get started. Wow. Look at that batch of screws and bolts. Look, man. And then this is all they give you. But none of the pieces are marked. So you got to try to figure it out by the hole pattern, which I got me some sticky notes right there. Get ready. I already identified one of these is the outer left side if you're facing the cabinet. So, a daunting task. Yep, a daunting task with a capital D. I would say this is going to be easy, but all three wardrobes are different. So we could have got them assembled, pre-assembled, and then shipped, but they said they won't be responsible if they get damaged. So I should have just got them assembled. I don't know, maybe not. At least I get to hang out in the house for a while. And it's for a worthy cause. This is my daughter's wardrobe, so I'm gonna make it perfect. Because that's how I roll. That's a little picture of what it looks like. It's very confusing once you get everything out of the box, as you can see. I'm gonna work my way through it and show you all the steps simplified. There it all is, hinges in the box, screws. And we'll see where I do good and where I run into mistakes so that you don't have to. But that box has got nothing to do with anything. I just moved it out of here over here. So there's another piece, and here's some more pieces. 3 boxes. So they say that it comes in, all the instructions come in is 3-1, 3-2, and 3-3. It all comes in 3-1, but in this case it was all in. And I'm saying all, I'm talking about all them screws and everything there, and these wonderful instructions here. 2 pages. 1 page front and back. That's all you get. You know, it tells you how many screws and everything, and then step 1, 2, 3. It's very confusing. Even just identifying what board is what. I haven't done all that yet, but I did figure out step 1. So you want to find the boards that look like this. There's these long boards with the holes in them. You'll see what they're for. Those are for the locks that come in from the side. They're steel. They'll go in here, and there'll be screws to circle in. You'll see when I get it together the rest of the way. And that's the dividing boards in step 1. You see step 1 right here. That's basically that picture right there. You see it says AD. So there's the A screws. That's the screws that you see sticking out right there. They're really just, they screw into that. And these look like, what is the world is going on here? But really that's just a lock that goes around there. It goes around this tip right here, because you can see it through a hole. You stuff this thing down there, screw it around it, and locks it down. You'll see later, I'll show it to you when it does. Just screw right in with a screwdriver, just like any little screw. So, simple. That's half of step 1. So I opened the boxes and got dazed and confused, and poured the screws out, then figured out what those screws right there were, and it said 24, and I counted them, and it was 24. And then the wooden pegs, you know, are gonna be in this too, so. Okay. All right, we're gonna see. So you can see that screw hole and the screw sticking out of the hole right there. That's where I told you these, that's where these steel pins go out right there. So you just line that gap I showed you up at the bottom. Look at the gap, bro. I can't line it. And push that in there. It's solid like that. Then you get your screw gun. I literally had this on the lowest amount, so I wouldn't drive those stakes past the black. So there you go. Lock down. Boom. Easy as that. See the same thing we're on these. So there they are right there. So that makes a sturdy base. So there you go. You see the bottom part, that's done. The top part's on there with those 4 sets of double holes looking up. I attached the A's and D's and locked them down good. And it's upside down now on the floor. So there you go. You see the picture. And when you turn it over, it better have 8 holes in it, you know, facing, you know, in the same pattern as this. Because sometimes they'll have 8 holes and they'll be in a different pattern, you know what I'm saying? So that's how the drawing looks. The pattern is like that, so is mine. With those wood pegs sticking out the ends. See how you were supposed to install those before you put that on. So now we're going on to step 2. Thank God, right? Okay, we're at this point right here now. Step 3. We completed step 3. And if you look back at step 2, step 2 is, well, if you look at step 3, you see the C's. That's the screws that go in the backboard and that top shelf. I don't tell you nothing about this. So on the C's too, you look over here and it's 8-28 and it says C. So actually what that is, there's 8 longer ones and 28 shorter ones. But it doesn't tell you which one, you know. A nice C1, C2 would be cool right there, but I don't know. I guess they figure you'll figure it out, screwing it in and out, right? I used the long ones right there on step 3, but I was wrong. Used the short ones. So as you see on those C's on the top 2 right there, on that shelf, they appear to be on the bottom hole. So that's where I put them, and that's what was right. Because horizontal on the other side, or the 2 holes go horizontal, and it fits on, it's level fitting on into those holes. So there you go. So that's step 3. And then also don't say anything about, see the drawer slide right there? The opposite one goes on the outside of the other one, because if you look at the picture, you have to imagine what they think. It's like, you know, see there's no drawer on the other side. So it don't say anything about installing that, you know, but you got to put it on there. And at first I thought that middle board that you see going below the shelf, that's where those 2 holes are on the side. And I was wondering what those were for. And that's what they're for. They're for screwing in. See, there's the C screws, and there's the board that goes on the two holes that were on there like that. So I don't know if any of the rest of them are like that or not. So now I'm going to put this other thing over here. You can tell where it goes, and you're supposed to line it up with these 2 little dots. These line the holes up, and you got to go flush to the outside here. See how that's flush on the edge, and then that leaves that down there. Then you find where these 2 dots are. Once you get it near flush, you see that little dot? you gotta line those two little dots up with those holes, and that's where the screws go. Make sure you get in the middle of the, get that hole in the middle of the hole that's on there, and it'll self-align once it gets, if you get it close. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And that's gonna finish off, even though that's not in any step, it shows you that shelf where it's gonna screw in the other hole. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. They don't really show you much, but if you look ahead, sometimes you can figure out some stuff about what the step you're on now. So, looking at this and looking at the step 4, I see that that shelf goes over there, just like this one is going to be on the outside, those two outside holes. And then that would be what holes? I don't even know what holes. Oh, it's those two holes right there. See how that shelf has got pegs, wooden pegs out of it. The wooden pegs go in one of those holes, and then the screws screw from the inside out to the other hole. So there you go. And there's C's too, but you don't know if they're long or short C's. It gives you in no way gives you a hint about the C's. I don't know. I'm not sure where the long C's go. Maybe I can figure it out. Let me look in the daylight out here. All right, peace out for 6-2. That's the end of step 3, and we're gonna go on to step 4. So, step 4 is accomplished. You see there where the two shells went on the side. There was step 3 right there. So, accomplished all that. Put that shelf in there and that one board on there. And pay attention to what hole the screw looks like it's pointing at. It's probably supposed to be that. So that was step 3. Step 4 is put those two shells on and attach all the X's there. So let's look at that. So these are the X's. It's these little metal posts. That same thing stuck in there. The same thing you say sticking out is stuck in the hole. So that's why you got to pay attention to where the screws fit. One of those holes was for that, and one was for that. It doesn't show it really well, but that's how it is. So there's 8 of those. And on these shells, there was 2 holes. So you still only see 2 bolts. You see where one of my wooden pegs pushed through the laminate right there. There's a bump. You see that? Right there. So try to even up, try to make sure you pay attention to how far they drill the things if you don't want to put a bump in your laminate, because that was about even and it wouldn't go any farther in the shelf, but it pushed out on the laminate, so there you go, it went too far. They drilled the hole too far over there, so whatever. Anyway, one of those holes in those 2 was for the wood pegs and one was for the C-screw. And there on the other side you see the same thing with the shell. So that's step 4. On to step 5, which looks like we got to attach some more. I got to figure out which boards those are. All right, peace. Getting step 6, you know, just putting the top on. There's 8 pegs up here, and they're on the inside holes. And put the top on, and it's 8 more screws. That's where your long C screws go. I figured that out. So there's 8 screws there, and these cross members are poured up. You know, those 2 inside beams. So you just put these, line these up with the peg holes. See on the other side. I mean, you line those pegs up with these holes right here. With those screw holes, because there's a starter screw on this side, then you just screw it through into the finish up there. The pegs are to align everything so the screws go in the right place and for stability. So, on step 6, it clearly shows that the top is smooth and underneath is the barred area like that. You see that where it's got the supports? It shows that that's underneath because the top is smooth. That's the top that was smooth, but it's the other way, folks. Don't put it on like that with the smooth part on the top, because none of your stuff is going to line up when you put the, it's not possible unless you start drilling some holes or something. Anyway, I think this is right because, you know, looking from here, you can't see that rough edge. Where's the bar? See that rough edge that will be showing up under here where you're looking all the time. So I don't think that was the way it's supposed to be. The picture's wrong. So put the smooth side, you're gonna see it standing on the floor, and everything, all those pegs will line right up. And then you just screw the C screws like that in the top. All right, peace. Step 6 done. Anyway, yeah, that's all you thought 62 Freedom could do is go for material, and I'm using one hand, so excuse me. Go for material and dig dirt, didn't you? That's fast, didn't you? But I can do a lot more than you think. So, don't get. So, I gotta go to San Jose tomorrow with the air conditioning dude, get some installation copper line, you know, and some electrical wire or something like that. So, I'll be seeing you. It's the end of the day. So, that is step 6. Put the top on here. Let's see how it's uneven, like I said yesterday. And I didn't have time because I got other stuff to do. And it's already almost, it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30 right now, so I only got a little while to work on this. So that was step 6. And you got down screws. Before you put this lid on right here, there's 2 holes there. One on the inside is 8 wooden pegs. And you line it up with that, tap it down. After it gets lined up and tapped down like that, then you screw the 8 screws in there, C screws. That's all it is for step 6. Let's go on to step 7. So on steps 10 and 11, you know, putting the knickknacks and the doors on and stuff. Just make sure you leave enough for a hanger. When, you know, measure in and out and up and down. And just put a cross right there and a cross right there. That's where you want to screw. You know, they don't say to do this, but see how I left that top screw? I screwed it in all the way and I put the rod up there, but then I backed that with a hand screwdriver. I backed that screw out, so you can't get it out of there now. So that's my invention right there. Just a little. There's another screw underneath the rod that you can't get to, and then that screw keeps it from turning, and it keeps it from getting out of there, escaping when you're hanging and unhanging your clothes, especially unhanging. And then if I were you, you know, there's no instruction on this. I would go ahead and put all the handles on the doors before you start putting the hinges on there. Give you something to grab and all that. And then I'll get back with you. Ah, that's it, Blue. I did it. I'm happy. Check it out. As you can see, there's really no notes. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's acceptable. The gaps in the drawer, it's acceptable. And see, there's no more, at the bottom, there's no more gap there where the 2 bottoms meet. Everything works, look, boom, boom, this drawer works. This cabinet works. this drawer works, that door works. This door works. So this door works, this drawer works, and this cabinet works. Bing! So take a look on the inside. And if y'all are putting together one of these San Yan cabinets, you be sure to watch out for, there's 8 hinges that go, the crooked ones go. So here's an example of the difference that I don't have it like, it made it so hard. See how that's crooked? Those, all 8 of those go on the inside 2 doors. You see how this is straight? That goes on the outside doors. Out there, the little doors. There's 8 of each of them. It doesn't mention anything at all in the instructions about it. It doesn't show that there's 8 and 8 on the tool chart. It doesn't show anything about it. You just, I guess you're a magician, you know. You can read their mind. We have no idea what you're talking about. So what do? You don't tell us. So that's the end of step 11 and 12. Like I said, and here's another thing they don't say anything about. This lock right here, see that little latch that comes out? All that does is go behind the door. But this door, you have to drill a hole in the wood. That's the only thing really left. You drill a hole in the wood, which I don't really want to do unless Rain wants it. I'm not going to do it. You put this on the door, and then like so, and you got this little button right here, and you push it up. It's hard to do with one hand. You got this red button, you push it, and it goes up, right? It gets stuck up there, supposedly. All right, it did. See how it got stuck? So then it goes on the door right here, and it goes down in a hole that you drill on the shelf, which I don't want to do that. And then once it gets up there, you got this door open. Once it gets up there like this, and you have the hole drilled in there, then you push that button and it snaps down, see? Boom, right into the hole that you drilled right there. So once that is tight, this lock, you see it comes out right there, comes out this way towards, it goes behind that door and locks. It doesn't have anything that holds it except for this door. I don't like any of that. She don't need to be locking her dresses up anyway. Mom is not gonna wear them. And 62 to Freedom is definitely not gonna wear them. I don't necessarily, there's a lot of things, not just that, like sex education. I don't think you should be teaching my kids sex education in the school. You mind your own business, you know, teach them math and science and history, and mind your freaking business. You're driving a lot of people away from the school system. You don't even know it. You know, that was one big reason I wanted to get Rain away from that I don't know. They're getting away from, they barely teach math anymore. What the heck is going on? They don't even teach, in high school, they don't teach math like they used to. They might graze over it, you know, but they ain't, nah. Math and science, and, you know, history's nice, you know. That should be an elective. Oh, yeah, history, repeat yourself, whatever, blah, blah, blah. History is fine, but, you know, there's no need to know everybody's birthday. I'm going to waste my brain cells on learning some guy's birthday 500 years ago. No. You just turn people off from school. So there you go. Anyway. Science was interesting in math, and history was interesting if you had the right teacher. Like I did have this one teacher, what was his name? Anyway, he was in the Korean War, and he was telling us a story about Mr. Howard. I don't know if you're from Virginia and you went to Western Branch, if you remember Mr. Howard, let me know, because he was a good history teacher. He told us a story about he was fighting in the Korean War, and people that he knew got shot like a dozen times, and it was so cold the blood froze on the surface, And with 9 or 10 bullet holes, they got them back and got them fixed up, and they didn't even die. I mean, you know, they didn't get shot in the heart or whatever. But because it was so cold and the blood froze when it got to the surface, it kind of stopped the bleeding and gave them that extra hour or whatever they needed to, so they didn't bleed to death to get back to where they wanted to go, where they needed to go. All right, peace out from 62. I'm on to my own dresser. Pow. Yeah, that's right, Blue. You thought I was just another pretty face, huh? Yeah? Yeah, you thought I was another pretty face, but look at that. One in there. Yeah. See all these shells? Maybe I never opened it all the way up. See all those shells she's got? She's got this drawer. She's got these clothes. You know, put that hanger up there. It comes with it. And then the same over here is that other side. I guess if you got 2 kids, you could put one over here. They could share this, and then put another one over there. Or if you got 2 boys and a girl, nah, you wouldn't mix the boys and the girls up in the same room. Anyway, all's well that is well. And y'all thought I was just another pretty face.